And congratulations, you are the Football Writers Association Player of the Year. How does it feel?
Yeah, it's really special. Obviously, I won this award a few years ago, and when I first started off this year, I didn't have any expectations to win awards like these. So yeah, it's really special, and it's something that I'm really, really proud of.
Come on, let's have a look at it. Let's see it in all its glory. Oh, see, that is a nice trophy. That is a pretty
Yeah,
trophy.
it's similar to the one that I won before, so that's quite nice. It's going to sit next to it now, so they're going to look like little twins on there. So that's going to be really, really nice.
Exactly. And you mentioned it. Obviously, this is your second time in it. You won it 3 years ago as well. My word, life has changed since then. Does this one mean something completely different to you then?
Yeah, I think so. I think for me, winning this award, and I think like obviously you never get to win these awards without the players that you play with and the staff that you work with. And for me this year, I've just seen a real different mindset from everyone, myself included. From 3 years ago, it's a really confident group. And I think for me, I think that has been the biggest difference, is the drive from every player, not just moments here and there. It's just been consistent all the way through.
I know you're always the first person to talk about the team. You're always sort of the first person to say, look, I wouldn't be where I was if I wasn't for my teammates and how hard we worked. But the last sort of 2 years for you have been just a completely different experience. You went public with your own sort of health problems and your own battle with pericarditis, the heart problems. So, just sort of how difficult has it been to even to get to this point? Has this point with individual awards and team awards even become unimaginable at some points?
Yeah, I mean, for me at the beginning of the year, I had no expectations on how my year was going to go. I remember speaking to people and the coach and Emma and everyone and just saying, I just want to get on the pitch, whether it's for 5 minutes, whether it's for 10 minutes. Like I had no idea, how my year was going to pan out. And I put in a lot of work behind the scenes, and, not just in pre-season coming here and training. I was going home and doing extra sessions, just because I was so motivated to come back and to be able to come back in a good way for my teammates. In them 2 years, the team had won trophies, we'd signed incredible players. I didn't want to come back in and be, someone that the team has to carry through the year. I didn't want to be the player that, brings the team down or brings the level down. So that was more my pressure to myself rather than pressure of playing well on the pitch. I didn't want to just be the one that gets carried along through the season. So yeah, I mean, it was difficult to have to start from scratch. I had no fitness level. I had no, I hadn't kicked a football in 6 months. So I think for me that was the hardest part, was trying to build my level back up again, to come back in and not be the one who, like I said, is getting carried or can't perform at the level that everyone else has gone to.
You talk about your teammates. Obviously, they were there when you had to rush to hospital. They've been there by your side every day. I suppose this means something for you to be able to hold this up and sort of say, look, this is for you guys, right?
Yeah, for sure. I think everyone in this building knows that I play for this team. I play for every single person who walks in here every day. And I think I show that in my performances. I will run through a brick wall for these girls and for all the staff. And I think everyone can see that. And I'm just so happy that it's not like, obviously, I'm really, really humbled to win these awards and it's amazing. But I know that I would never be able to achieve anything that I have achieved without them, and not just what the performance has been this year. It's getting back, it's being able to support my team and everyone being so supportive of me. And like you said, being there when I was rushed to hospital, these things don't happen if you don't have good people around you. And I'm lucky that I have 50 plus in this building, and everyone is working together to make sure that we achieve something. And for me now, it's just to go on and win them team trophies. Those are the things now. It's just tunnel vision.
But Fran, obviously, we talk about your journey and your battle, but your football this season has been absolutely magnificent. It's been wonderful for us to watch. I mean, how would you sum up your form this season?
It's quite funny because I try not to get too ahead of myself with everything, and try and just stay level focused. And everyone talks about stats and everything, and I couldn't tell you any of the stats. I couldn't tell you like how many goals I've scored, how many like assists I've got, or whatever. I've really just kind of tried to put that to the back of my mind and just focus on the task that's in front of me. But yeah, I mean, it's funny because everyone talks about how well I've played, but I've been priding myself a lot on actually my defensive work. because that's something that I really wanted to improve on. It's something that I've not particularly been good at throughout my career. So that was something that I really wanted to try and drive this year, is, okay, I want to work harder defensively. I want to be better defensively. So for me, that's the one thing that I'm probably more proud of in myself, rather than, you know, anything else going forward. But I think for me, I've just enjoyed it. I've just enjoyed playing, and I think you can see that when I'm playing. I'm running around with a smile on my face. You know, of course, I will always take football seriously, and I want to win trophies with this team, but I love this sport. I love the game, and I want to show that when I play. I want to run with a smile around my face. I want to, you know, do well for everyone. And yeah, I think that's been the biggest thing that I've been proud of this year, is how much I've just enjoyed playing football again.
Oh, and we see it. We see it every time. Every time you score, every time you set up an assist, every time you put a great tackle, a right smile comes on your face, and it is, you know, it is infectious. It clearly shows just how much it means to be back on the pitch, but also playing at such a high level. It's interesting to talk about the defensive work as well, because you've basically been Emma Hayes here, haven't you? You know, you cannot get away with not putting the shift in. And my work, she gets so much hard work out of you, and, you know, huge names up front like Sam Kerr and Pernilla Harder as well.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that we pride ourselves a lot on. You know, we know how aggressive we can be as a team, and how well, you know, we work defensively. And for us, we know we have to put in a shift. You know, you can't get away with not doing it. You know, it's not just, you know, Emma, it's the standards of the whole team. It's the standards of, you know, the defensive line behind you. If I can make their job easier, then I'm going to do that, you know, because they're the ones who are, you know, playing the ball forward to get us in the positions to score. So, you know, it's a bit of give and take from both sides. And I think you've seen that this year, is the levels that, like you said, the levels that the front three, or, you know, the midfield are going to make sure that, you know, we are aggressive in the front press. We will win the ball back quickly when we lose it. And those are the little things that we've been training for, you know, for 6-7 months into, you know, when pre-season started. So that is something that we've worked on. And I think a lot of teams fear that about us, is how aggressive we are, and, you know, the level and the speed that we go to when we do go and hunt the ball back.
How's it been working with Emma Hayes? Obviously, you've got a kind of long relationship with her now, and I suppose it's multi-layered by, you know, everything you've been through as well on a personal level. But how is it to work with her professionally? Because for me, whenever I speak to her, by the end of it, I want to run through a wall for her, and I'm the other side of a computer screen.
Yeah, I think me and Emma, obviously, throughout the years, our relationship have grown. She's, you know, a manager that put a lot of trust into me. And when she first signed me, you know, from Reading, she was, you know, saying how much she wanted me as a player. But obviously things could have changed. You know, I had a few injuries. Obviously, I had the illness. So, you know, you never really know where you're at in terms of with a manager. But she was always so supportive. She was always, you know, telling me, look, you're going to be fine, you're going to get through this, you're going to come back. And even when I maybe didn't believe it, you know, maybe she didn't even believe it, but, you know, she wanted to say it to me and make sure that I would come back in a better place. And I was speaking to her, you know, I think it was June last year, and I was saying to her, look, don't, like, I'm going to come back, like, I'm going to show you, like, why you've been so amazing and the support you've given me. And I said to her, I remember saying to her, I don't care where I play, just as long as I get on the pitch, I'll play fullback if I have to, you know. And that was the mentality that I went into. So yeah, she is a great person. I think first and foremost, I think she wants the best for everyone, but, you know, on the pitch, her attention to detail, the level of detail that we going into each game, it's second to none. And it really sets you up to, you know, go out there and give your best. And, you know, she puts that trust in you. She puts the belief in you for you to go out and do it.
Fran, how can you be so certain? You know, when you were going through so much, you're like, yeah, I am going to come back. I'm going to come back stronger. I know. I can't even say what I'm going to do next Wednesday. Never mind anything else.
No, I mean, I think obviously I went through this phase where I was like, okay, like, I can't come back from this. Obviously, I did have that moment, but I think once I kind of got over that and got myself feeling, you know, relatively better, I was like, no, that's it now. Like, I if anything, I kind of gave myself an ultimatum. I said, right, you give everything now, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Then you know that you've given everything. I was never going to allow myself to go half-hearted and just be like, okay, well, I've kind of given it a go, but I didn't get there. So I think once I started to, you know, feel better, be able to train more and more, and I could feel in myself that I was getting myself back to, you know, physical levels that maybe I hadn't experienced before, even before I was ill. And I think that's when I started to gain the confidence again, and kind of said to Emma, like, I'm going to come back, like, I'm going to be ready. And of course, like I said, I had that moment where maybe I didn't think that, but I knew once I kind of felt better that I was going to give it 100%. It wasn't going to be 10%, 5%. It was just going to be, I've got to go for it. And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, then I know.
Now, it clearly has paid off, hasn't it? Because and you say you don't look at the stats. Don't worry, do have them in front of me, but I'm not going to sit here and read them off to you. Don't worry, I'm not going to do that. But I mean, there are tangible developments in your game, and obviously the hard work you're putting in is helping others. You see Sam Kerr banging in the goals, for example, and you and Pernilla and Sam have such a fantastic trio. I was say partnership. Do you have a 3-person partnership? But you know what I mean. Kind of such a great understanding up front. It must be magnificent to work as a trio.
Yeah, for sure. And actually what the nicest thing about is playing with these players is we're happy for each other. It's not a case of I scored the goal, so I'm happy. I probably celebrate more actually when I get an assist for Sam, or Pernilla scores the winner the other day, or it's just infectious. We all want each other to do well, and I think that helps in terms of the relationship we have on and off the pitch. I think that's grown throughout the years. Obviously, me and Sam had a bit longer to work in pre-season, and Pernilla came in and kind of had to adapt and work on playing around us. But I think now that we're growing more and more, you can just see the happiness in each other when someone does well or someone scores a goal, or I think it's a really special partnership that we all three have. And of course, for me, it's amazing to be able to play with such amazing players, and if you put them in the right areas, and they're going to score a goal for you. So for me, it's been easy because I just put the ball into space, and then Sam or Pernilla has to do the hard work, so it's great.
And like we said, it is clearly paying off. I mean, domestic dominance we've seen this season. We see still in the FA Cup, but the Champions League final is coming up. And what a journey you guys have had in that competition alone. Obviously, it wasn't so much in the against the Atletico Madrid. It wasn't necessarily the front players. It was Anne-Catherine Berger. It was the defence that had to do their part, and coming from behind in the semi-final as well. My word, what a journey you've had to even get to this final.
Yeah, it's been pretty crazy, but I think it's highlighted the strength that we have throughout the whole team. It's not just the starting 11. It's not just the front players. Like you said, Anne was absolutely incredible in the game against Atletico Madrid, and she's been incredible throughout the whole time of it. And I think you see the levels then of everyone, and you've got players that had to come into games. You've got Neve that's had to come in. You've got Jess that's had to come in. It just shows the levels that we have. And I think it's a really special time to be a part of this football club, and it's something that we've spoken about for a long time, getting to this final. And it's one of them ones now where we obviously are delighted to get in the final, but we have to kind of squash that a bit now because we have to focus on winning the final. It's not just about being happy being there, it's about going on to win it now.
Fran, I know this seems like a really daft question, but just how big is this game in Sweden on the 16th?
I think obviously for a club and for a personal, it's one of the biggest games that you're ever going to play in. It's something that you dream about. It's something that you want to work towards, and something that you dream about winning. But at the same time, you have to try and treat it like it's another game, because obviously it's something that you can get nervous about. Maybe you can get too excited about. So we have to try to stay level. But for some of the players here, it's going to be the biggest game of my career. It's going to be the biggest game for a lot of these girls' careers coming into this game. So we have to try and stay level grounded, but at the same time, it's a Champions League final. It's something that we are really excited about and really happy to be in.
And what have you made of Barcelona? Because obviously they played so well against Manchester City, but they were never the outright favourites for the competition right until the very end.
Yeah, Barcelona are absolutely quality. There's no you can't downplay it. They are one of the best teams in Europe, and we know to beat them, we have to be at the top of our game, and they've shown their quality. Obviously they've killed their league. They've come through to the final, beating amazing teams along the way. Obviously we play against City and we know how good they are, and for them to beat them, and then obviously beating PSG in the semis. So we know that we have to be 100% ready to go, and 100% tactically, 100% physically, because obviously otherwise there's no chance. You have to be ready to go, because they are definitely a force. But for us, we are going to focus on how we can beat them. But yeah, they're top quality.
Fran, what would it mean to be part of an English Champions League winning side?
It would be incredible. It would be something, obviously, like I spoke about, that you dreamed about since you were a kid. And for me to win the Champions League with Chelsea, I think would be amazing. I've been at the club now 6 years and been part of the growth, been part of the first campaign that we had in the Champions League, and for us to go and win it now with this group of players, it would be amazing. But also I think it would be a testimony to those who have played, you know, in previous seasons and managed to get us to where we are. Without, you know, them teams that I've played alongside and them players, we wouldn't be in the position we are now. So I think it would just overall be amazing for the whole club.
I mean, we still talk about that magnificent Arsenal team that won it 14 years ago now, don't we? I mean, your name could be associated with the levels of that team that's just kind of legendary now in terms of English football.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope we can be the next English team to go and win it. I think, you know, we're ready for another English team to win it. I think as a league, as a country, I think we're all ready to just see another team lift that trophy, and I really hope that we can be the team to do that.
And what a few months it could be for you with the Olympics coming up as well.
I mean, this again, sorry, but can we just do final question? Is that all right? Because Fran's got to go now.
Absolutely fine. We'll do a quick one on the Olympics, and then we'll do a quick wrap up at the end just to say congratulations again. That's all right.
Perfect.
Fran, what a few months it could be as well. We've got the Olympics coming up as well. Just how are you feeling ahead of such a magnificent competition?
Yeah, it's really special. I think it's going to be an amazing experience for everyone who gets to be involved, everyone who's able to go and be on that plane and go and play there. And for us, we know that we're going to go there with an absolutely quality side. But yeah, I think to be able to go to an Olympics, it's something, you know, that I used to speak to my family about a long time ago. So for me now, it's really exciting, and hopefully we can go out there and put in some good performances and come back with a medal.
Oh, we are all excited. Don't you worry about that. Come on, let's just see the trophy one more time. Fran Kirby, 2-time Football Writers Association Player of the Year. Look at it. Look at him. Looks magnificent. Congratulations again. Really well deserved. And it looks magnificent to speak to you. Good luck with the rest of the season.
Thank you very much.